Good morning and welcome to this episode of Motivational Monday. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a clerical personality, an analytical personality, and usually I like to have my whiteboard and my notes and things like that with me to kind of discuss a topic with you so that I can be well prepared and make sure that I cover that. But I've got a little bit of a different approach to it today, and I hope you enjoy what we're going to talk about. So Elijah's been doing a great job producing these videos on top producers and what that looks like and the skill set that comes along with being a top producer uh, in today's atmosphere and market. And there's a lot that goes into that. And I've learned a lesson just today in myself and a practice that I've had to develop over the years that is also a skill set that comes with being a top producer. And today, this all comes from the heart um, of being in that situation now and working through that myself. And that's learning how to calm your emotions and move forward with logic and move forward with understanding of, you know, what's right, not who's right. And understanding that there's a principle that comes into play. And realistically, as humans, as imperfect as we are in this world, it's very easy for us to react out of emotions, and that's simply what it is. You're reacting to something versus responding to something, and it's very easy to fall into that emotion. You get an email that comes across and maybe you don't quite like what it says or you don't agree with what it says or you know what it says to be false and you immediately want to hit the reply button and say, well, I'll show you, right? And that's responding out of emotion. We went through a book recently and there's some videos on our page as well, the Dale Carnegie How to Win Friends and Influence People. There's great lessons in that book, and if you haven't been through it, I'd advise you to go back and see some of those videos on our page and even pick up a copy of that book for yourself and really study what it says. And I've learned a lot from that book, um, and I feel myself growing in that knowledge each and every day. And it's hard to put into practice. You have to be intentional with it, and that book teaches different methods of how to respond to something versus react to something, right? So two different methods. To be a top producer, you got to learn how to get the emotions out of that. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't fight for your client. That doesn't mean that you don't fight for what's right. That doesn't mean that Zig Ziglar says, in the world of sales, it's not about being big, but it's also about knowing when not to be little, right? So there's a time and a place for standing up for what is right, but it should never be about who is right. And that's the difference in the two. One's out of emotion, one is out of logic, right? One is based on facts and truth, and one is based on opinions and how I feel in the moment. And we all know that emotions change at a moment's notice. We all know that 1 minute we can be happy go lucky, and then we get some news that makes us sad, or we get some news that makes us angry, or maybe we're sad and we get some news that uplifts our spirit. And it can go several different ways with that emotion. And, I'm reminded of a story in the New Testament where Jesus is in the garden and he's praying and he's got his disciples with him and he's getting a little bit upset with his disciples because they won't stay awake, but he understands that they're tired. He understands that emotion. And then when Judas comes in and lays the kiss on his cheek, uh, you know, Peter gets mad, draws his sword, and he cuts off Malchus's ear, and Jesus goes up and mends the ear and rebukes him for acting out of that emotion. And that's really what was on my heart today to share as being a top producer. Learn how to get away from it. Take a walk, take a few minutes, take a deep breath. Really think about how you need to respond to that information and not react to that information. If you want to be a top producer, that's the skill that you got to learn, and it comes somewhat natural for some, but for most of us, that's not an easy thing to do. So my encouragement today for you to be a top producer, to go to the next level, and how to win friends and influence people is learn how to control your emotions, learn how to cope with the information that you're getting, learn how to respond to that with logic, truth, and understanding, to find a solution that is mutually beneficial to all parties involved, if there is one. And usually there is. It just takes a little more time and effort than the emotion allows you to do. So I hope this helps you today. If there's anything that we can do for you here at Elevate, please let us know. We're always looking to grow our influence in the area, looking for great agents. And if you're looking to buy or sell, we'd love to help you out as well. 931 283 2312. And I hope you have a great day.